4th of July has always been my favorite holiday, partially because it's right before my birthday. So as a kid, I always loved that. I was always excited because my birthday was right around the corner and there were fireworks, and I was like, yes, this is awesome. But it's still my favorite holiday now because I just love, America has had a very complicated history, obviously. It's easy to kind of gloss over some of our mistakes as we celebrate the greatness that comes along with it. But I've just always loved I guess I'm a sucker for the branding of the American story, I love American history. I've always been fascinated with the Revolutionary War and Revolutionary history, which I actually attribute quite a bit to one of my favorite artists, N.C. Wyeth. He kind of made a career off of making this type of drawing right here. He would do them as paintings in children's books. If you've ever read Treasure Island, it's still my favorite book. His illustrations in Treasure Island blew me away as a kid. His illustrations in the book Drums are so incredible. And I feel like that right there is what got me into this period in history. N.C. Wyeth just had such a way of kind of romanticizing this period and making the people exactly the way you hope to see them. And I just got bit right then as a kid. And I'm still very interested in American history, and actually really pretty much all history in the 1700s. Once you get up into like the Civil War, I don't enjoy that period of history quite as much, but Revolutionary War I absolutely love. And then, of course, as you get older, you kind of realize how terrible all of it is. As a kid, I just thought it was neat. But then as I got older and really started reading, I have a huge collection of history books. I know, laugh all you want, but it's what I'm into. But as you get older and you really start learning about the period and what people were going through, it's kind of cuts through some of that romantic vision of how we just suddenly were our own country and everything worked out great and happily ever after. Not exactly how it went. It was very hard fought. We couldn't have done it without the French. There was a lot that you don't necessarily learn in elementary school when they teach it, but a lot of the coolest details get left out. I highly encourage reading history books if you're into reading, because that way you're not only entertaining yourself, but you're also going to learn some cool stuff. One of my favorite things to learn in history books is when you come across like the origin of a phrase that you never thought about where it came from, and then all of a sudden you're like, no way, that's where that phrase came from. I guess most people wouldn't be excited by that, but I enjoy learning that kind of stuff. Caught red-handed actually comes from people having their hand branded if they had been caught, if you had stolen something and you went to trial, if you could read a certain passage from the Bible, they would have you read a specific passage that was about changing your ways, and they were convinced that if you could read that, then surely you would in fact change your ways. But before they let you off the hook, they would brand your hand. And then if you got caught again, you were caught red-handed because your hand has that scar there. That's the kind of stuff that I love learning in history books. Also, this period of history, here's a weird fact, a lot of British soldiers were actually not the cleanest, and the reason was they believed that having dirt on them would help protect them from getting sick, which seems ridiculous now, but at the time nobody really knew. And so that was kind of the belief of a lot of soldiers, and so there was a lot of kind of weird superstitions and stuff. But so there were some soldiers that, didn't really get proper hygiene stuff going on. It's easy to think it's ridiculous now, but I guess at the time they thought it was kind of normal.